Bildy here. This is going to be a different one. I don't want to do this. I don't want to make this video. First, I'll give you a little rundown of what's going on here, and then I'll get to the part I don't want to do, but keep you in suspense, right? No, I was supposed to be in Moscow today, but I couldn't go. There's transportation issues. I wouldn't say there's a problem, but it's a lot of traffic, and I think flights might be... this is my interpretation. I have heard from some sources too, so my interpretation's probably right. They got to be careful, you know. They don't need passenger flights going into places where they could be reached from certain areas. And I'm in Crimea. I mean, I could go way out into the Black Sea as long as you don't live too close to Turkey and then curve back around. But I think they're rerouting stuff and rescheduling stuff, and they're also moving people around, so it's hard to get a flight. So I couldn't go. I was really looking forward to going. Kind of disappointed. But that's okay. Nothing new for me. I can roll with it, because Uncle Bildy knows that something else is going to happen, which is probably going to be just as good, just as interesting anyway. There are some absolutely fantastic videos. I think I've already linked to some of them. I'm going to put a few of the best. What is happening is information is being gathered and condensed and put in a very chronological. I'll link one in here. There's a site you can go to that has videos that were made back in 2014, and all the incidences as they progressed to what led to what's going on now are there, and some of them are from the opposing side, but you still see the facts, and the facts agree with what people that are on our side. I need to define that, don't I? What's the opposing side? It cooks down to the essence of the opposing side is... Okay. I keep coming up with a new way to phrase it. Russia's supposed to be the boogeyman. You always got to have a boogeyman. It was the Islamic boogeyman. Now it's the Russian boogeyman. There is no boogeyman. I think a lot of you starting to realize that there wasn't even an Islamic boogeyman. If there are terrorists, no doubt, but it seems like when you look really closely, it's always got the CIA created it. Oh, okay. There's no boogeyman. I'll tell you what there is, though. There's a hegemon. Somebody wants to be a hegemon. The hegemony. New World Order. One power over the whole world, the hegemonic power. It's the hegemon. You better watch out for the hegemon. Hegemon's going to get you! We got to stop the hegemon. Anyway. Those that work for the hegemon are lying. And there's a lot of good people that are working for the hegemon that are deceived. They're deceived. They've been hoodwinked. They've been lied to. They got the wrong information, and they're on the wrong side. Some of them are quite brave and heroic and good people. If they really look closely and a little intelligence and allow themselves to, step on that third rail, the stuff that you're not supposed to look at, you're not supposed to say, yeah, if they look at it a little bit and they love truth, they'd get out of it, and they'd switch sides. But sometimes they need a little help. That's what I like to try to do. I forgot what point I was going to make. Oh, I'm looking at the sites done by the hegemon and his unfortunate dupes and his followers. I have a little sip here. Wow. They're all screaming about the brutal Russians coming in here, and I've shared some stuff that I've seen, and I think I've talked about it on some of my other videos about some of these people that are internet personalities. Some of them are, just mokes, like your MTV crowd. Not to mention any names, but Coach Red Pill, yeah, I looked at him a long time ago, and he's basically a really low-register, dumbed-down cross between Jordan Peterson and Joe Rogan, really. He's a voluptuous. He's very vulgar, but he tries to be. He's like your old drunk uncle that sits at the kitchen table swilling PBR and telling you all about politics and wormings. I know everything there is to know about wormings. He's got like pork chop sideburns and beats his wife, and he's basically a freaking idiot. But you know, a lot of people think that he's got some wisdom. Yeah. Anyway, he's telling you, he's walking around in the video I saw. It was funny. I kind of enjoyed it. He's walking around in the streets of Kyiv. There's nobody there. He's out in the street all by himself. He's worried about getting shot. And he lives in Kyiv, by the way. And he's saying he's upset. He decided the Ukrainian government is evil and Zelensky's evil. He handed out those weapons to those people. He didn't care about people. Well, yeah, that's what we said. You know, I'm glad to see somebody else saying it. But you know, he's not having his own red pill moment. No, he makes a lot of money. I mean, he's got Patreon followers out the wazoo, all paying him $5-10 a month. You know, it's good money for him. You got to stay on the cutting edge. You see everybody throwing in all this ridiculous lies about Russians brutalizing stuff and destroying the place. He got an idea, because it's not true. He's going to be on the cutting edge. He's going to mix a little truth in with his bullshit. No, he says the Russians are not destroying Ukraine. They're actually being very careful. He knows it's going to come out, and it's beautiful to see it come out. But he's got to spin it. So he says, no, they're not going to tear this place up because they want to steal it. Why would they break everything when they're going to steal it? He's been there a while. He knows he's freaking stealing shit. I'm gonna post a link down here where an old CIA guy goes through the documents. And well, he just gives you a little brief rundown of it first. They've been there 70 years setting up Nazi groups to go against Russia, and then go against the Soviet Union. Then when the Soviet Union collapsed, well, they still want to get their money and still want to have their business. They put their lives into this shit. So now they do it on Russia because they changed the mission. What's a threat? What's a threat to the United States? Well, the military decided that a threat is anybody that competes with our industries and anybody that, you know, doesn't give us our resources for pennies on the dollar. I mean, that's what it is. You really want to be a part of a country like that? You're going to get a freaking black eye eventually. It's coming. You can't do that. The whole world's getting sick of this shit. Anyway, Red Pill, Coach Red Pill, not to be confused with the good Red Pill, which is Red Pill 78. The guy's super. He's a truther. He knows the truth. He's a great guy. He interviewed me once, actually. A lot of these are here because of it. But I'm talking about Coach Red Pill. He's a douchebag. He's spinning it. He wants to be the first one to start getting the real true truth out because, yeah, that's not true. The U.S. government's crazy and the media's crazy saying all this stuff. Oh, the Russians are being very delicate. And if he's smart, he'd go show some evidence of it. I could. You got to know what to look at and make it where it's unequivocal. He's not doing that. He just run around in the street like a dumbass. And he says, well, it's because Putin's going to steal Ukraine. The U.S. have already stolen it and they ruined it. Ukraine came from Russia. Russia gave them pretty much all their land, even if you go back to Kyiv. It was a grant by the Tsars. The Soviet Union built all the infrastructure, the mines and the metallist places, the machine places, and the Donbass during the, well, actually they were built during the Tsar period. They brought in a Welsh metal man to establish the metal industry in Donetsk, and they named the city after him for a while. I think his name was Hughes, but they Russianized it, and then they ended up changing it to Donetsk. But anyway, Soviet Union poured infrastructure and factories and development into Ukraine, into the Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Union. It didn't come from all Ukraine money. They didn't extract riches from it. And then after the Soviet Union dissolved, they built the ski resorts in the Carpathian Mountains. I've been there. The Soviet Union did that. They developed the place. You know, and everybody could enjoy it. But they've been taught by the Nazis to hate their Moscows. After the Soviet Union dissolved, Russia paid their debts. Russia paid Russia's debts, And Russia paid Ukraine's debts. And they divvied up the infrastructure. I think they've been more than fair with them. And then they jumped on Maidan and one said death to Moscows because they got their new friends, the U.S. And the U.S. is cutting down all the trees in the Carpathia to make cheap plywood out of them because you got a U.S. citizen for a governor over there last time I checked, who's installed, just like the rest of their government was installed. And Coach Fred Bill's running around in the street with his voice breaking like a little girl saying, the Russians are being nice because they want to steal everything. Is he really that stupid? No, I don't think he's stupid at all. He knows what he's doing. Another bit of news. The, what do they call themselves? The United Cajun Navy. I never heard of them, but I think they actually got their start. I did a little research, and they got their start when the hurricanes were hitting around the Gulf Coast, helping people and doing things. Now they're going into Ukraine. And I looked at their video, and some spokesman named Sky is just regurgitating ridiculous talking points. So, yeah, what's this? Another white helmet's coming up? You know about the white helmets, don't you? I'm sure they're smarter and won't be as brutal as the white helmets, but they're up to no good. They're not helping people. Why didn't they go over to Donbass and help people for the last 8 years and they're shelling children? Oh no, they kept their mouth shut then. Now they're running around with their stupid little blue and yellow murder puppet flags, virtue signaling. Yeah, I think that's a good name for it. It's a murder puppet flag. Ukraine never existed as a nation before 1919. And look what they've done. Look what they've become. You know, I don't think they should get to keep their flag. What they've done to it, my God. Anyway. That's about all the news that I know of. I'm going to post links to some really good, dense information. Off the top of my head, I can't remember the name of the site. I'll put it here. Sometimes I forget and I'm slow, but then people remind me in the comments and I go back and do it. I'm a busy guy. I gotta run around here like a chicken with his head cut off. Even though I was gonna be gone, I'm not gone, and I gotta do lots of things. Which brings me to the subject that I don't want to really bring up, but I'm gonna bring it up. I gotta do something. They shut off the SWIFT system. That's okay. I got all my money out anyway. Most of it. I left a little bit in the bank so I can online pay for. I got to use a VPN. It's a monthly fee. I didn't leave enough to last forever. I don't know how long this is going to happen. It might be years. Who knows? Is there going to be a new economic system coming? Are we going to be just totally severed in two different systems? Well, that's good. I'm fine with that. But I don't have anything here. I'm trying like hell, but Russians don't really subscribe to paywalls to get information, or they're not real big on donating stuff either. I don't know how to do it here as well. Besides, why would they donate for an English language things? I'm trying to turn things and flip things in America. Actually, it'd be in their best interest to, but what I'm doing, oh, let's put it this way. A lot of you just don't know it. But Russia disconnected themselves when they had a referendum for their constitution to change it. I don't know how long ago that was. It was a few years back. They had a referendum and decided to change the constitution. And one of the platforms they put in it is they are not to be affected or go by any laws not made in Russia. In other words, the UN regulations and agendas, no, they don't apply here. Disconnect it. Not doing it. There are organizations that still are trying to do it as though they do, but by law, it's been disconnected. It's been unplugged. That's why a lot of this stuff's just going nuts against Russia. They've unplugged themselves from the UN. They still go by, and Putin talks about this, the UN Charter. That's different. That's not an agenda. That's the original charter to be a court that people can go to try to avoid war, which is a good thing. It's two different things. You got to get that in your head, because you got all these idiots going around saying, "Well, Putin's just working for the he's just working for the people that can't be mentioned, bankers." That's not true, because I saw Putin give a speech. Anessa, yes, she's a good resource. She translates Putin's speeches, and she does it quick. The really pertinent ones, she puts them out there. I don't know where she's at right now. I think they kicked her off YouTube. They don't want you hearing what Putin said. But he gave a speech before some world body. I don't remember which one it is. But he actually said that 85% of the Bolshevik commissars were of this particular branch of people that we can't mention, or, you know, we get in trouble. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, he went there before a world body, and nobody said a freaking thing. And it got covered up. They didn't put it in the news. They didn't express, they didn't want to give it legs. If you say what he said in Germany, you can be arrested and put in jail for 5 years, or 6 years, I think it is. Interesting. Actually, it's a lot more than 85%. Just a lot of them covered it up because they were told to. The Comintern suggested that certain people changed their names so that people wouldn't think that communism was simply a penguin, you know, phenomenon. If you're a penguin, you need to change your name to sound like a non-penguin. But anyway, yeah, he did that. Back to my point. Russia is a multipolar, it's gunning for and working towards a multipolar world. And believe it or not, China is too. They got all this tech, and they're very, very, there's factions. I'm not saying as a block, everybody's doing it. There's always factions, there's infightings. But as a rule, that's what they've been doing. They're fighting for a multipolar world. The U.S. is fighting for a hegemonic world. The U.S. wants to bring in the hegemon, and the hegemon's going to get you. It's going to be Klaus Schwab's reset. They're going to turn people into servos and manage the whole earth. They're even going to manage your DNA. Technos love that. All these techno people, techno weenies, perverts, degenerates, yeah, they want the New World Order. You're damn straight they do. They're shelling for it and they're gunning for it. But unfortunately, there's a lot of red-blooded American patriots and gun-toting, Bible-thunking people, by God, and I think they're the salt of the earth. I've been around these people for years. I love them. But they are on the wrong freaking side because they've been deceived. Oh, and it's over this Ukraine thing. They think Ukraine is this plucky little nation that just wants freedom, and we need to help them. We ought to send more weapons to them. Let me tell you something, kitten. You're not going to get any more weapons in here anymore. You know, your last $2.5 billion worth is either in a pile of smoke and ash. Most of them are, or the Russians got them, and they're trying to think of something to do with them, I guess. Maybe, you know, if they weren't moral, you know what they would do? You know what I'd do? I'd give them to La Raza and Black Lives Matter. They'd be doing the same thing to you that you've done to us. Think about that. But they're not. They're not going to do that. And what was it old Poopy Pants is talking about? And the Canadians, the Canucks and the Poopy Pants boy are going to send another $300 million worth of weapons over here? They're just taking your money. You really, they can't get weapons here. How are they going to get them in? The Russians have foobarred all the air bases. You know, they're controlling the border. I guess you can get them in western Ukraine, maybe. But that's not a good idea. It really isn't. Ukrainian government's pretty much gone. The military's mostly joined Russia. I don't know, mostly, but an awful lot of them have, and an awful lot of them just went home. The only people fighting are the Nazis, the hardcore Nazis, and they're buried in and embedded in urban areas. They set up grads and artillery around housing complexes. That's what they do. And they probably got a lot of that from their instructions from the CIA. That's what they're told to do. Going to have chaos here. That's why they handed out weapons to everybody. And like Coach Red Pill will tell you, he's not lying. He's telling a little bit of the truth. He needs to get. He needs to hang on his readership, and he sees an advantage. He's an opportunist. He sees how he's going to really get up because he's the first one to start telling the truth. But he only tells that much, and then he spends it. But he told you, he tells you on his video that they handed out all these weapons, and it's just immediately went to criminals, and they're around shooting up people and shooting each other and grabbing things. It's a mafia war on the streets of Kiev right now. It's not Russia. And you had a mafia in charge of stuff anyway, the right sector and all these idiots. Anyway, there I got off again. I was gonna start on the subject about what I was getting to. I got a plan. I'm running out of money fast. I don't have enough left to get through, which is my wife works, but she makes very, very little. And as I was saying, you know, I'm doing I'm providing some benefit, some service. You'd think, you know, if the KGB, or as people call it, the FSB, that's not their job. Who would it be? Some propaganda wing of the Russian Kremlin, you know, would be paying me to spread information against Americans. You know, I hear that stuff. It's pretty hilarious because I don't get anything. I've been promised some help by some private organizations. As far as I know, they're private. Because they like what I'm doing, they like my work, and they want to help me, they want to give me something. But, you know, it's a real long process, and it's really a very small amount, the way I understand it. And I know people that have got on that deal, and it's not very much, and it's not very often. I couldn't live on it. I think that America would benefit by knowing the truth. And if you want to help me, and you don't want to make videos, and you don't want to get on a soapbox, and you don't want to have meetings, drag all your friends to them, and if you can afford it, if you've got your beans and rice and your canned goods and your well or your water source, and you're all set, because you're going to have hyperinflation soon. And before you have hyperinflation and your money turns into nothing, send some of it to Uncle Bildy, and you'll be doing some good. I guarantee you, if you can afford it. Because Uncle Bildy will immediately turn it into gold and then bring it back over here and turn that into rubles. Rubles way the hell down right now. Like I said, I predicted this. This Ukraine thing's going on, and as it goes on, the US dollar is going to get a nice little bounce, and the ruble's going to go down, and then there's going to come a point, and I don't even think there has to be any particular event that triggers it. There might be. But there's going to come a point where the dollar's just going to drop. It can't be enforced anymore. It should have dropped a long time ago. It's pure military power and lies and deception and having all the puppets in the right places. The only thing that's been propping it up. And that's all coming unraveled fast. That's why they're hysterical on the news right now. But anyway, my card doesn't work even in the mail-in now. It's dead. But I can buy things online. Intangibles like VPN service. If I run out of money, I'm not going to be able to pay my internet bill, and Uncle Billy's going to disappear. Well, you know, inshallah, I don't care. If God wills it. If not, then I ask the Lord to move on people's hearts and make sure you know what you're doing. I don't want you to feel regrets about it or anything, but you can go to unclebildy.com. It's an old website I had that I built I was going to have a homesteading site back before the little floaty bug thing happened. And actually I built that during that, but then I didn't get to use it. I've neglected it, but it's got my banking information, and I'm going to go check. I haven't even looked at it in a while. And it's got some nice articles you can read too. Hey, bonus. There's some articles in there that are kind of fun. They need a little more editing. I just did them in a hurry. But it's some nice little stories, I think. But my banking information's in there. You can just make a deposit in my bank account. Uncle Bildy would really appreciate it. And send me an email and tell you you did it, because Uncle Bildy says thank you notes. Mom told me to, and I promised. Anyway, I hate asking for money. I think I'm creating something of value, though. This is different for me, because I used to create things of value with my hands, and you can look at it or start it up, and it makes stuff, and you can make money with it, and, you know, I get my cut. You know, that's real, that made me feel good. I'm doing something now that's kind of intangible, and you get money for doing something intangible. Well, lots of people do it. Lots of people give Coach Red Pill money, and all he's doing is, like Joe Rogan, he gets a shit ton of money, Joe Rogan, and all he does is promote degeneracy and lie about stuff. I'd rather eat a bowl of dog turds every morning for breakfast for the rest of my life than be like those guys. How's that for contempt? That's what we all ought to have for them. And I mean, you read the comments of their audience, and holy crap, he's, you know, congratulations, dude, you're the king of the dung heap. Look at the comments in my videos. Smart people, good people. Do me proud. Anyway, Uncle Bildy signing out. I don't think I forgot anything. I'll put some links on this one. Guarantee you, I'll put some links. I got a lot of stuff to do today. I got to cut this short because, oh yeah, that's another thing. The internet has been choked. It's really, really slow here. Probably because of all the stuff going on. It takes 4 or 5 hours just to download a half-hour video now. That's okay. I do whatever I have to. Uncle Bildy really signing out this time.